prelims.
A super aggressive team coming through. S2G still cheering on. Yeah, they're not number one. I'm sorry. It's not the case. Maybe a third at best. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they are really kind of out of it at the moment. They are about 20 or more points behind the bubble, up towards third place. I think it was 99 with Kara in third place. They are on 73 right now. So being that far behind the bubble, being 26 points behind with 4 matches left to play, that's pretty nasty. That's not something you want to be facing down. And you've got to remember that's a moving target. It's not just getting those 26 points in those 4 matches. It's getting 26 more points than Kara in those 4 matches.
Yep, it is. We're getting ready to get into our third game once again, which should be happening shortly. See the crowd. Full display. Nice packed building, honestly.
Absolutely.
I hate to be the security guards just stood on the stairs though. Right calf workout.
I'm sure they got it on lockdown, you know. They are ready to deal. But they don't want to get too big for their boots. And hopefully our players are too. Just waiting on heading on in. Building up the tension. They want to get in. Actually, I'm not sure if they do. They're having a great time, just sort of chanting back and forth at each other. I wonder who's winning. I wonder who's winning in the crowd.
Yeah, I know. Seems like we're getting back into the game pretty shortly. Zooming straight into this one. And we're back in. Lovely stuff. Curve towards Erangel.
All right, our plane path this time is going to be coming from the south. It's a deep south cut, Blank. It's a deep south cut plane again. We're going from Pmsl over towards the Miltopal Peninsula, this time just touching over the military base. Goodness me, they love it. They love a south plane path. That must be why they did the remake, you know? Just to make sure that you've got that plane all the way on the south side. It just has to happen, apparently.
I know. I mean, this is a horrible plane path. I mean, most teams are probably quite frustrated about this. Going from Pmsl up towards Stalbert to now getting a south plane path it does really suck for a lot of our teams. Probably quite a few heading down towards Sosnovka, I can imagine.
There's definitely going to be that scrap. Anathosis Famagusta dropping on over, but I feel like at this point they're very aware of each other's presence. I'm more interested in where the circle's going to go, right? We've seen bridge camps happen, more by Anathosis Famagusta, because the Noisy Boys do tend to just maintain C block. And Anathosis Famagusta stay out very late in order to catch them if they think they're going to get away with it. Everybody else dropping out as well. Of course, Ulf and Regnum Kaya, still eyes on them. They're going to have to make that same rotation, grab those vehicles up towards the north. And it's an east side circle. Almost certainly not going to be a military island finish on this one. But you never know. You never know. It could still be. More likely, though, we're going to be seeing ourselves outside of Milta, up towards the north, potentially up towards Shelter, this sort of area.
I mean, Eastern Circle here is not bad, right? It's really not bad. Doesn't encompass a lot of Sosnovka, so we do cut out a lot of playing space early, though, because I think a lot of teams won't want to be playing in that area of the map anyway. So they're likely more to be a case where I'm just fast forwarding my map feed, catching back up.
Oh, making sure you're on live rather than backwards compatible research. Asgard. In the meantime, whilst you catch up, are on that Novo position. Could potentially be a roadblock for the two teams on the south side. Or maybe the Noisy Boys are going to try and go west again, and Anathosis Famagusta are going to catch them again.
Yeah, maybe. I think there's quite a few teams actually. I mean, I said this last time, right? There was no real reason for multiple teams to be in Sosnovka, but this time around there is. Going back to my original point, this is one of the cases where a lot of teams are going to be moving across over towards north side of this circle. Not a massive reason to play in Sosnovka other than at the beginning of your game.
Yeah, it's unlikely to be headed back over there. I mean, I give it maybe a 5% chance that it's a Sosnovka finish. I think that it's very, very unlikely that we will be ending up there, but on a 5% chance, that means, 1 in every 20. 1 in every 20, it happens. Unlikely, though. We'll have to wait and see. The question is, what will teams on the south side do? Because on that 1 in 20 chance, you basically win the game. So is that worth it on average to make that play? Or, because of the lack of games remaining, is it just going to be too much pressure, go for a more consistent strat?
Yeah, it depends, like, if you're... I think it mostly depends, like, if you're blocked out. For instance, if TMB gets ahead of Asgard early, Asgard just makes that play to stay down on that south side. Doesn't always guarantee you the win just being on Sosnovka. I've seen a lot of teams don't really do too much. I think that most time in the past where it guaranteed a win was back when Stalwart played in over at Neuer. So if it comes down towards Sosnovka, this is a insanely good team. They know this position. They know exactly where they need to go to have the best spot and the best chances going forward. But a lot more recently, the teams that actually play Sosnovka are the ones that get cut out of most of the good spots on the northern side of the circle.
Going to be difficult spots to cut out as well. They're on funneling in fairly soon. We're coming up to minute 5. Spotted one. Tries to zone in. Pops the swap. And we'll be defending the observatory. This is our turf. Interesting decision, though, for both of these two teams to compete over this location. I would have thought they'd be more worried about getting across the bridge, but having control over this spot does give you a bit more safety getting over the bridge, I suppose.
Hovercraft gone immediately for Asgard, which is a really rubbish start to their game. Especially when you really want that hovercraft to get across both the water and also give you ample cover going into that mid-game portion.
Are the Noisy Boys just convinced that if they stand on an observatory, they win games? Do you think that's what's happened here?
Yeah, man.
They're like, we're going here. We're going to win the game. You'll see. You'll all see. And now it'll be a Sosnovka circle, and we'll be fine. Well, so maybe TMB are going to get the chance to overtake the Boars after all on their regional points.
S2G still in Pmsl, so I think it's quite the wait here. I think a lot of times when you play Pmsl, because it has a great loot pool anyway, you want to get as much loot as possible and then start moving. I know that there's the case where there might be teams ahead of you, but there's certainly a big capability to start moving much faster than this.
And it is important. Getting on the road nice and quickly can be important, especially when, as you highlighted earlier, there's a bit of a limit to playable ground here. Although we are still in phase 1, I think it's more likely that stage 2 will restrict pretty dramatically over the course of things. All 3 teams on the south have stayed put. Right, Anastasis Famagusta, Asgard, and the Noisy Boys all have decided to stay on the military island for now. And I don't think that they're going to be able to get across to the roads. Certainly not easily at this stage. Kara are on the far side. That's going to be a difficult barrier to try and push through. Maybe they go for a botation, but without the hovercraft, Asgard's options a little bit more limited.
Asgard on that south side. Tough stuff. I mean, they can move across now, but the Anathosis getting ahead of them as well as getting ahead of TMP. I think you are right in the sense that I think TMB is just determined to try and stay on Nova Evnoia, or at least Sosnovka, as long as possible and hope that so comes down this way. But the amount it leans over towards the north side, I find it very unlikely for that to be the case, John.
Yeah, it's pretty much guaranteed not to be on the island, right? 100%. Never going to be on the military island. It just never happens. Never, ever has it happened on a circle like this. We're going to find out where the next zone comes on in. You can see that timer counting down on the top of your screens, or the side of your screens, depending on what orientation you're looking at. We will see where we are going to end up going. Nobody going down just yet in this game. No one really having too much trouble sent their way, except for that early scrap on the south. Pmsl takes the direction of the blue zone as they enter late. All right. We're going over to the west. We're keeping Potato Hill in. We're keeping that farm area in. This is good for S2G. And the rest of the players are all descending now.
Yeah, they certainly get lucky off the back of that. And are happy with it. But it's a massive amount of unplayable space, right? Huge amount of water involved. Still a little bit of Sosnovka involved there. Anathos is going to get ahead of both TMB and Asgard very comfortably. Depends on how hard PRA, Kara want to hold them out. It's pretty even at the end of the day. You see a hovercraft there on your screen as Kara begins to take some shots.
And Kara in third place, but not safely. We're going to try and extract as much value as they can. They're right next door to Besiktas as well. Fairly close by on the opposing compound here. Looks like they are going to come into conflict. Storm tries to guide the hovercraft safely. Shoot takes a bit of damage, but CEO can't quite connect fully on that spray down. So they will begin to entrench themselves. Neither of these two teams is going to crash the other, I don't imagine. But we'll see what Besiktas and Bra are going to do on their standoff here. Maybe Kara will third party if the fight starts to pop off.
I think Kara, they've got such a nice position as well that they're typically going to try and hold on to this for as long as possible. They're further off towards the west there. I think that you want to try and maintain as central as a position here as possible because rotates are a little bit difficult around Farm and Milter. It's quite easy to get caught off guard. But you'll take shots where you can. Asgard's opting to go for, I think, a western bridge rotate, which I'm... And TMB's still on observatory. For why?
Yeah, I've no idea, man. They sent all of them up there as well. They're just like, we're just going to sit here. We're just going to see what happens. I guess they were trying to get points over towards the two teams leaving, but at this stage, there's no one else here. You've just got to go. Is Mars gonna bait him? Are they going to bait him? Are they going to pretend to go for a Westbridge rotate, draw them down, and then turn around and kill them?
I don't know. I don't really know what either of those teams are doing right now. Like, for me, you could be mind gaming the hell out of each other for all I care. They need to get in the circle. That's the primary goal of the game.
They're just wiggling about over there.
Yeah, so I am confused. I am very, very confused. But we are more concerned with what's happening on this north side with IWNRX fairly central. They still haven't been able to climb too much. Those are our three teams that haven't done terribly, honestly. I think getting anything over a 50-point margin here in the finals is decent. And I don't think we've had any one team that I've thought to myself did not deserve to be in the finals one bit. But those are the two. Those are the three teams that just aren't getting in. But yeah, this next circle heads all the way towards that north side. It's kind of not that bad, honestly. I think most people assumed it would be locking in over towards one of the areas here, and it locks into most of the teams. The teams that are really suffering here are Falcons, Ida, potentially. Xlay's got to move in. Ulf's going to wrap around on the north side. But these guys still need to get 6 points.
This fight continues to pitter on. The Noisy Boys and Asgard yet to even find a knock. Akron, finally! First blood is drawn in the engagement. And that is a point for one of these two teams. Maybe one of the very few points they see this game, because they are really cutting off their nose despite their face and staying down here so long. Regnum Kaya made a crazy fast rotation right towards the central farm compounds, Blank, during that shift we just saw, and they managed to get through again without taking too much damage. These reads on the lobby continue to be really very effective. You can see them now on the northwest point with that farm complex, and they are in a really solid spot here.
Regnum Kaya, like you say, really good spot for them. Mozero knocks himself on the vehicle. Anathosis will finish off the remainders.
Ooh.
Again, for Asgard, they would have had a much better time just taking Westbridge, trying to rotate in that way. TMB was never getting across this bridge anyway. What have you done this for? Ideally, one elim. Was it worth it? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's gone fairly badly. Fairly badly, all things considered. Falcons, they haven't had the best of times either. They've been busted down to 2. Although they have managed to get 1 point, that's not going to be enough to see themselves up. And with Carrot getting knocked over towards Brat, that's, again, unfavorable. A nade. Oh, Narvalo. Doesn't quite connect. Has another one, though. Steps in the back pocket, steps out wide. That is too bold. What do you think you're doing there?
And good damage, though.
Immediately humbled. Well, yeah, actually, hang on a minute. Okay, fine. Okay, that's allowed. Get loads of points.
Well,
that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, losing a player there is unfortunate. First nade was good because it knocked the door off, right? And then I don't think they expected him to peak for the second nade. Yeah, at least get 3 elims, but it's just Redox remaining, which is really sad. And Kara is starting to get some points on the board, and they just hit the century there. 100 points accrued for Kara over this finals. This is easily looking like a Regnum Karya win. Which is unfortunate, considering last game.
Imagine if they'd have passed the boundary in that last game as well, right? Like, this would be absolutely insane that this is happening. I'm also still wary of Ulf, right? They're on that northeast side, and they are rotating down now towards Milta, trying to move into the hills on the east edge of this next circle, Blank. But still, this farm complex is just such a difficult position to be moving in and around now that most of its corners are filled with deadly players.
Yeah, I think for Ulf, they are trying to rotate as far out on that eastern side as possible, limiting vision away from a lot of our teams. They may run into Anathosis. Famagusta needing 6 points to get towards the Smash ruling. Ideally more. Again, though, for Regnum Kai, if they win this game, it's not the end of the world. With the way that we're seeing Ulf play, they might not get to Smash ruling until game 4. So for Regnum Kai, it's not terrible if they get a chicken dinner here. It just means that they will set themselves in first place. 35 grand almost secured. Got a few more games to play after this one to make it happen.
At the moment for Regnum Kaya, I think the north side resolving is the most dangerous thing that could happen right now. There's 3 teams up here who are on board with Papyrus Supermassive. Of course, you've got Jetgo, and further out west, you've got Ida, who are trying to make things happen. Oh, okay. S2G. Fine. Sure. That's 130 for Regnum Kaya. Didn't even see them coming in, but they've gone immediately. Evaporation sent their way by Silas and Wild.
Yeah, and it's the first time we see Ulf dismounted from first place. So Regnum Kaya now our first place team inside the lobby at 130. 4 more points required for them to set themselves towards the top. Merciless also getting knocked by them. Ulf finds Fenerbahce. That's Savian. That's a backstab coming through from the east side as Ulf really huffs and puffs to try and catch up.
They definitely need to be big and bad in this game to try and make sure, well, it looks fairly certain now that Regnum Kaya are going to, with their position, be able to pass that smash point boundary. Still in 6 points. Trying to get out of there. IWNRX going to let them. They didn't manage to connect on the spray down, unfortunately, but where do they go? Where can they try and make their way towards? Because it is just open season. And there's a 4-point add to the Regnum Kaya tally. The rest, not too sure where they added up on towards, but they've gone to the lobby nonetheless.
Yeah, Macap just, I think, again, out of the vehicle too quickly, runs himself over and goes down. 3 more points is all it'll take. But you're right. I think for Regnum Kaya's position, it's highly likely we're looking at least a podium finish here for them. And even if it does switch down towards the southeast, the only team, I mean, I say team, player in one of those southern buildings in Farm is Redox and Falcons. So that is more open than potentially teams assume.
Ulf now starting to get stuck in on the southeast side. Can they earn their 6? First nade over to Wagnazada. That will be a knock for Scarface. Hopefully they can confirm that. And get those points starting to flow. Because they've got that high ground, but they do have to leave it. 30 seconds they've got over here.
Circle heads over towards Regnum Kaya.
Oh, yeah.
I'm feeling like a Regnum Kaya win here. Again, that would mean if they were to hit Smash Rolling today, it would be 3 chicken dinners, which would be insane.
It really would. 3 overall. Yeah, they managed to obviously open up with a big chicken dinner. Only a 3rd place in the 2nd match. 3rd match, though, back on top. There's a point. There's a point for Ulf. As we come up towards that 130 mark, they've started their game. And they are still on the hunt. But their next move, I think, is going to be one of the most crucial that we'll see from them. How effective can they be there?
Pose over towards Asgard. Akron being a little bit too aggressive. Gekko getting pulled apart by Papa Supermassive. Nico doing some good work for his team. Only Kamikaze lost there. 6 elims now for Papa Supermassive. They are so in the open, John.
Yeah, it's this smoke that's keeping them safe. They do have that little mound that sits in front of them, but you can hear the bullets whizzing overhead as they try and survive for as long as they can here. Just put themselves back together. IWNRX out to the west side, yet to really make their move, but it's Kara who are dominating on the south as they open the cannons, along with Asgard over towards Anathosis Famagusta. The remnants of our teams moved late from Sosnovka, and they are really not finding their feet here on the mainland.
Akron, Asgard got set down earlier on, back up. Opts to not make the same mistake. It's back inside the safety of ceilings.
Ulf managed to get in. Nades from Asgard, though. There's 4 players who know that they're here. They're waiting to try and find these angles. Shots as well over towards Ulf's position. The step up from Asgard is pretty dangerous, though, because you've got Kara to worry about. You've also got Fenerbahce off in the distance. So Ulf are being kept a little bit safer by that, but it's still very precarious. The split that they have, not terrible either, but they're expending so many smokes to stay here.
Kara, Southwest, playing out for as long as possible. Remember, this is our 3rd place team looking to catch up and set themselves apart from the likes of Falcons in 4th place, who are now very, very close to overtaking. We're only Fenerbahce chasing at 91, looking fairly decent. And I think Fenerbahce on the next circle will have a tough time of it as they attempt to leave. Regnum Curry is still a Silas playing on the south side of them, playing as early warning system for a south side push from Kara. The next circle, I think, does head over their way, but favors Kara much, much more, alongside with Ulf, I suppose.
This is potentially going to help Ulf's position. Remember how difficult it has been for them to play. They're right up against the wall, but you remove that east side threat, which is going to have to resolve, which is going to have to move. All of a sudden, they can use those ridges as actual cover, rather than just trying to hide behind the vehicles and sandwich themselves between those 2 spots. I do think it's, yeah, you're right. I think this is going to favor Ulf. It's going to help them out.
And it's one of the situations where Ulf is playing, they're protected by Kara. Their issue will come from the east in Fenerbahce, Besiktas, as well as Falcons. They have a lot to hold out and over a lot of open ground. They have 4 players to do it, though. That is the major grace that they're given. Is getting 4 players to this spot that you need multiple sightlines to work with. Depends how aggressive Asgard want to get. Only 30 bullets here. Ooh. I don't know how Scarface is still alive.
There it is.
Finally gets taken down.
Oh my goodness. What a swivel. What a switch up. Of course, it's Aaron. He's making it work. In the meantime, Fenerbahce, Lux, the last player of the Falcons to deal with, but he's already inside the house. Not to matter. A shot to the gut puts him down, but Fenerbahce now on 2. Besiktas looking around the corner. Falcons are out, and the placement points have kicked in as well, Blank. That's really important for our teams at the top. 3 points away for Regnum Kaya. They now are only 2 points away with that extra placement. The res came through, but no, instant re-knock coming on through. Besiktas bearing down upon them as Savian fully flushed away now. Scarface as well. Ulfa down to 2 in the midst of it all, but we're back on board with Falconist. Besiktas with 4 players looking to try and keep their pace up the tables, potentially challenge Kara.
I mean, for Ulf, it's not done yet. They still haven't got themselves into that position of Smash Point. They're 4 points shy. Regnum Kaya way more likely to make it happen, but you're right. Lots of damage being done. Papra Supermassive still on 7 elims. IWRX likely next to fall here. Fenerbahce are eliminated. Weren't able to really get too much done that game. Only 1 point, but I think it's a monumental rise actually from Fenerbahce, from considering how they were doing over in the knockouts, the groups. Getting here to 5th place in the finals, I think that fans can be proud of this team.
Absolutely. It is very impressive what certainly they did in the last game. And now they're up in the 90s. But Kara in the hundreds already, broken that century. Silas! Oh, no. Spotted by Papra Supermassive. Of course, they only need 2 more points, Blank. One of them can come from, if a team goes out now, they get an extra placement point, right, for getting up to 6th. 5th place, at least, they are guaranteed to be on that Smash boundary at least. Ulf need a little bit more. They want 2 elims and then they'd be drawing level. But it is...
Yeah, I mean,
right now,
Silas,
Ulf guaranteed 131 with a placement.
I mean, Silas does get unlucky there. He runs into one of the best aimers in the lobby in Lost from Papra Supermassive. So making that kind of sweeping movement in the vehicle and a slight delay, yeah, that does definitely affect him. And Lost will pick up that immediately. Freedom Carrier continues to take damage though off in the distance there. And they're fully caught out of this next circle. Oh dear.
It's a tough turn of events.
Really not having Smash ruling going into match 4.
You never know. Maybe Kara could do it with this circle. I mean, you know, this would be very impressive. There's not too many points for them left to get in order to do it, but yeah, they might also join the 130s if they're lucky. Regnum Kaya, though, still needing 2 more points. We'll see if they can make their train work. Their smoke train is out. There's the rundown over towards Swain. Papra Supermassive, 2 to a buggy, moving on out. IWNRX putting up a fight here as they roll up towards it. Kine, last soldier on the land, will try and make IW next Ruya's time a little bit more favorable. But Papra Supermassive now cut down to 2. Make that 1 because Kine is still on the tear. Looking for more, wants to bring out these flushes. They're taking them out, and another placement point would be huge for both of our teams at the top. Regnum Kaya have taken a knock through the midst of it all as they try and make their break south. The blue zone is pushing. If Kine goes down and Papra Supermassive, Regnum Kaya would make it. But Lewis with the pistol takes down 1 from Regnum Kaya. Zedwolf is fully knocked and Regnum Kaya are out in 7th and do not make the mark on 132. Oh my goodness. We're up to 5th place now though, Blank. We're getting close to the point where Ulf might just make it on placements. And look at their position, with Bashik just not daring to cross against Kara. But potentially, you get an elimination here. It could be the difference maker for Ulf.
Yeah, a little bit further to go on it. They're really not moving, and Besiktas is similarly scared about pushing up over towards them. The nades are starting to flow through it, and I think actually Ulf's going down here. Yeah. Well, the nades go far. Okay. Oh, the little bit of chip damage gives them away. I
mean, they guarantee 3 points right now for placements, Blank, in 5th. if another team goes down, Black, I think that's it. I think they've just broken the smash boundary. They are over. Look, the scoreboard's acknowledged it as well. They have managed to make it up into 4th place, and we will be having a team having that option available to them. Kara go for the rollout, and they give that smash boundary break to Ulf.
That's going to take a lot of the weight off, I think. Now they can go back to playing exactly how they would normally. Okay.
We get a little zoom out there on the team to break the boundary. But we've got Besiktas. We've got Kara. Both in competition for 3rd, but if Kara stay really deep into this game, this is going to make 3rd place really difficult to achieve. They could go very, very far here. Do a lot of work. Can Besiktas take them down early?
I mean, you're likely locking things in if Kara's able to get a chicken dinner here, and it will be the 3rd chicken dinner for Kara on Erangel, stamping this as the team with the most successful. Over on the side of Erangel, able to find one, but another buggy is too much. Both players from Ulf get squished underneath the tires, and now Besiktas can start taking down Asgard.
They went as far as they needed to go for Ulf, exactly where they needed to find themselves, and they didn't need to go any further. Get set for the next game because they got an Erangel to play. Now the joust over the hills. Besiktas scrapping it out here as 3 teams remain, and Kara's just observing this from a distance. A bloodbath before them, and they're all too happy to let this one go in. They've got oversight onto a lot of it. It's a full front-to-back fight between these 2 rosters. Sequester behind the hilltop. The stage 9 circles close. Besiktas fall. Asgard the last to go. This was, I mean, only 2 players there. Kara just going to be able to close this one down. Surely there's no way that they get slipped on this.
Yeah, this is a really easy finish, especially the MG3 in hands, but might not even be necessary. Kara looked to finish this one off, and that they do. Kara cementing 3rd place a little bit more as we head in towards our 4th game of the day. Last match on Erangel, last match of being able to get a pretty reliable chicken dinner. Miramar, it's a bit more difficult. A lot of times, if the circle moves too far away from you, it is a look of the draw there. For Erangel, anyone can make that win, in my opinion.
I wonder how many of the Kara fans have been booking their plane tickets after that game. Over towards Thailand. Hit the crowd stands there, see if they can help on out. Although I think that would need Kara to actually get to the finals as well, which is no mean feat. But in the gauntlet, that's a hell of a lot easier. Right now, they're looking pretty set.
Kara able to place another one on the board for themselves here. 3rd one of the entire finals. Which is really cool to see. It wouldn't matter if they got another one on the next match. It just wouldn't, because they are not in. They've not made the distance. They have not made the distance. And I think for Ulf, now is the time to show us that chicken, right? It's time to get that win. Show me the chicken dinner, because they don't really have any worries anymore. They don't have to worry about slowly playing things out. That's not their playstyle. It's never been their playstyle. Their playstyle has been very aggressive. And I think that Aaron's been chomping at the bit to get a bit more freaky with it in these finals.
Yeah, I had to move that placard back over. Kara, a little bit inaccurate on their placement, but it will be on the board for match 15 there, earning themselves that 3rd chicken dinner accolade, as you said. Yeah, Ulf looking for the chicken dinner as we make our slower approach. We've got one more Erangel still to play after this one, and then we head over to Miramar if Ulf don't win it. That's what we're going to be looking for.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm so interested to see what this circle does, right? Because that will really change it. That will really change things up based on how accessible it is for Ulf.
I think for Ulf overall, there was this feeling that they just couldn't play to their maximum potential. And I think now more than ever, they have to start figuring out where these points are going to be coming from, because they can no longer really afford to allow Regnum Kaya to be jostling between them being 2nd and 1st all the time, with Kara now hot on the heels as well after a big game like that on Erangel. Yeah, I don't think 1st is guaranteed anymore. I felt guaranteed finishing off yesterday, where they were so far ahead. Like, it was hard to catch up to them. But with after Regnum Kaya's big chicken dinner on Rondo, yeah, it's not easy anymore.
What is very likely is that Regnum Kaya get over the smash boundary in this next game, right? I think it's like 1 or 2 points that they're going to need in this next match. So if Ulf don't win it, it's super likely that we're going to see a 2-horse race going into our Miramar sets on that front. Not to mention Kara also, they might not have gone the distance in that last game. They could also join them with a big game here, and they are strong on Erangel.
Very much so. I think that for Kara, at least as well, they are typically a very, very good Erangel team. Could shoot up further. I don't think Ulf is bad at Erangel at all. I think that, like I said, they have just been lacking confidence massively to make these games happen. Regnum Kaya, though, their rotates have been good. That last game looked decent. It's such a shame that Regnum Kaya isn't able to get over the smash point rule going into match 4, because this is the last time they'll play Erangel, which is a map that they're very, very good at, yet they won't be able to clinch the game out. The only team that has that possibility will be Ulf going forward now. Maybe that'll change next match, but we'll wait and see.
Hey, and just to remind you guys at home, if you just tuned in, the smash rule is in effect. We had a smash boundary set at the start of today. That was 134 points in that last game. We just saw Ulf achieving that metric. They got, actually, I think bang on the nose, 134 points. They didn't get 1 point more because technically they didn't need to. They are now in the area where they can win a game and immediately end and win the tournament. If they get a chicken dinner from here on out, the tournament's over, and they will be crowned as the champions of this season and get that qualification spot to the gauntlet at PMGC, which is that all-important prize for our top 3 teams who end up in the podium.
Yeah. Bloody good stuff from Kara. TMB, on the other hand, terrible. Really quite bad. Was not entirely sure what was going on with them. I think that they thought the circle was on Sosnovka. That's the only thing I can think of, is that they had like a mind meltdown where they were hallucinating circles of where they might be and where they weren't.
It was like, this is for sure that other day when we won from this spot, right? That's exactly where the circle is right now. That's what they were thinking that. What was going through their minds?
Yeah, I'm curious to know. I think we're going to the stage at some point, but I don't know when. Could be sometime soon. Actually, no, it might be. I think it's just break. I think it's break after this.
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think we've seen the rankings.
But we gotta look at the rankings and etc. first.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen any of the stats so far from that game.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've still got to go through all of those.
But we will be waiting for them in the meantime. How is your day going, guys? Oh, there's a replay.
Oh, of the final blow. And you can see there just the shutdown. And I mean, yeah, that was a very easy rollout for Kara. Exactly right. But it was Asgard to take the MVP title with Real, getting 5 elims, 767 damage. It's not the most. It's not the most we've ever seen on an MVP card, but still very respectable.
Yeah, it's tough circle though. There wasn't a lot of opportunity for fighting, and whenever fighting came down, it was a case of you getting moved out into horrendous locations of the match, of the map. Sorry. We'll be going into our match statistics next. See who's got the most elims, the most grenades, who ran the furthest. It's one of the main ones we want to look out for. But it is Navarro with 2 nades.
Yekta. Wow. So far. 2 nades, Navallo. Poser, 805. All on Kara for the top of the tables there, but actually it was Asgard who got the MVP.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, if you put Marceau and Poser together, almost not quite as good as Real. Almost not quite as good. But you can see here that's very indicative of the map and the circle, with Spike only getting the most distance at 309. There really weren't a lot of long-range engagements that you could go for on that map. We're going to take a look next at the team statistics from Kara, who was doing the most there. And it's a lot of them, realistically. That's a nice spread in terms of damage from where they were playing. Really good proactive nature from the squad. totaling up to 12 elims on the game. So a nice 22-point match, which I think puts them in the 100 teens after that one.
I think they've just broken 120. I think they were on 199. 99 at the start of this game, I believe. And with 22, I think they're on 121. I'd have to double check though.
I believe
as we head back to us. I'm banking on 121. So they're within striking distance. That's 13 points behind the bubble, behind the boundary. We'll see if they can do it. But let's head to the stage for a quick check-in.
Kim'den bir tane daha mükemmel bir hediye var. Marshall kulaklık arkadaşlar. Bu kulaklığı kime armağan edeceğiz biliyor musunuz?
Whose birthday is it today?
Bugün kimin doğum günü? Bunu ispatlayan varsa hemen buraya kimlik kartıyla gelebilir. Kimlik kartıyla birlikte buraya doğum günü olan güvenlik arkadaşlarımıza göstererek gelebilir. Ama seyircilerimizin içinden olması gerekiyor. Personelden olmaması gerekiyor. Tamamen seyircilerimizden. Bugün kimin doğum günü? Var mı doğum günü olan ispatlayabilecek kimlik kartıyla?
So we have quite a lot of prizes. I see someone in green over there.
Gel doğum günüse gel. Kimlik kartınla gel. Kimlik kartınla gel.
Is it your birthday today? We need to confirm. We'll give you this lovely prize, the Marshall headset, and I believe we also have some other goodies in the bag.
Bugün doğum günü olan sanıyorum yok. Var mı? Kimlik kartını gösteren gelebilir. Yok.
No? Okay.
Bazen şöyle yapıyorlar. Benim diyorlar. Kimlik deyince when I ask them where is your ID card?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think a 7-year-old is gonna have an ID card. He's like, yay, hi. I don't think so.
Kimlik kartınızı ispatlamanız gerekiyor arkadaşlar. O zaman yine de dün doğum günü olan var mıydı dün?
This week. Anyone's
Yarın doğum günü
birthday
olan
this
var mı?
week?
Yarın doğum günü olan var mı? Kimlik kartıyla gelebilir.
Yesterday?
Dün ya da yarın doğum günü olan.
Did we not have someone whose birthday was yesterday?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Or tomorrow.
Or tomorrow, okay. Yesterday, tomorrow. Anyone's birthday that you can show us. It was yesterday or
Kimlik
tomorrow.
kartını ispatlayabilen
Where?
gelsin. Hemen gel.
Okay. Oh,
İşte
wait.
geliyor.
We might have one. Hold on.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yetişemezsen başkasını çağıracak. Heh.
1 second while we confirm.
Yarın eğer doğum günüyse Marshall kulaklık onun doğum günü hediyesi olacak Burger King'den arkadaşlar.
Okay, we are still trying. Oh, hold on. We have the ID. Yeah. 27th of October. That's tomorrow. That's tomorrow.
27'si yarın mıydı arkadaşlar? Evet yarındı doğru. İşte kazanıyor.
Well, that was only our first prize.
Gel.
Wait.
İsmin neydi? Sefa'ya doğum günü. Happy birthday to you.
No. Listen, we're not gonna do this. No. Okay, that's our first prize, but I believe we still have some more.
Evet sevgili arkadaşlar. Gerçekten çok karnı acıkan doğum günü bir dakika. Sen.
So, at this moment as well, while Bilgehan hands out our Burger King coupons, I would like to invite our content creator from Kara Esports to join me on the stage. How are you, brother? So, I'm gonna make it simple. We have to give away mouse pads. Okay, so I will let you choose 3 people. 3. Why? 3. 6. I only have 5.
Okay, 5.
Okay, so I mean, first of all, congratulations for Ankara chicken dinner. But who do you want to give mousepad to?
5 gifts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Pick. Start from there.
Tamam ben seçiyorum. İyice sürümde kaldım. kardeşimiz var şurada. Galiba kız. Galiba kız. Bir kız çocuğumuz var. Onu tespit etti Bural. Kara fena gidiyor ha.
Efendim?
Kara fena gidiyor.
Allah'a şükür çok çalıştık. Umarım bir kaza yaşanmazsa olacak.
Did you choose your first one? Did you choose one over there?
Yeah.
Okay, so now in the Kara corner, pick one.
Here, okay.
Which one?
I pick
Actually, for Kara, can I recommend one for you?
Okay.
Can I choose for you? Where is he? Yes. Biggest
Okay.
Kara fan I've seen. Him. Okay? Okay.
No problem. But I pick here.
You pick them.
Okay. It's three, okay.
Biraz hızlandıralım. Oraya yakın gidip seçebilirsin.
Tamam.
Yakın gidip seçebilirsin.
Oğlum. Şurada. Şu. Evet sen. Gel. Işıktan çok göremiyorum. Gerçekten çok az görebiliyorum. Şundan. Silüet gibi görüyorum.
Okay, I believe we have chosen 3. 2 more. Okay, wait. Okay, do you mind if I choose one more?
One.
Yes. S2G.
No. Two more.
Two more?
Yeah,
Okay.
two more. One here.
Okay. I want to give him one, and then you choose over there.
Şu kardeşimiz. Evet şu.
Okay, which one do you want?
Şiş.
Okay, he chose you, so you get the reward. I mean, look, he picked you, so it's not my choice.
Evet.
Okay, one more on that side.
Last one. True.
Yes.
İki elini kaldıran S2G formalı bir kardeşimiz var. İki elini kaldırıyor.
S2G fan. I see him right there. Okay. Yes, you with both your hands up. I believe that choice has been made. All right. Well, that's 5 mouse pads, and just to show you guys what the mouse pad looks like.
Arkadaşlar mousepad var. X-Vega'dan mükemmel bir mousepad. Sadece mousepad adıyla da değerlendirmemek lazım. Klavye ve mouse için mükemmel.
Ucu yok mu?
Evet. 5 arkadaşımıza daha seçiyoruz.
5 tane daha mı?
Evet.
Tamam. O zaman yine oradan. Bir tane oradan. Bir tane yapalım. Tamam. Şurada beyazlı bir kardeşimiz hemen o. O evet o. İkinciye geçtim. Yine orada bir beyazlı kardeşimiz daha var o.
Mutlaka bir tane karadan seçiyorum.
Burayı hiç görmüyorum. Samanyolu gibi burası. Şu. Evet sen. Sen orada beyaz.
One more. All right, one more it is.
Şu elinde ışık sallıyor şu an. Elinde ışık. Evet.
Tamam.
Last one.
Last. Sure. I mean, I don't know where from. That was the last one.
Listen.
We have more.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, that was mouse pads. Now we're talking about hats and socks. So there's a difference.
Okay.
Evet. Yönetmenim uyarıyor. Tamamlanmış. Teşekkürler arkadaşlar. Hediye yağmuru yine devam edecektir mutlaka. Sizleri seviyoruz. PUBG Mobile'de Avrupa Şampiyonası tam gaz devam ediyor.
Teşekkürler. To the games.
There we go. Dishing out the prizes to the audience. Of course, the main prizes that we're giving out will happen later today when, well, we can't say, but it might be after this next match. Ulf could close it down here without ever seeing the desert as they have the opportunity to go for a smash rule victory from match 4 onwards. We are now into the danger zone for everybody, which also means that everybody else needs to put as many points on the board as possible.
Absolutely, because if you want to get towards that top 3 to go towards the gauntlet, there is still an absolute chance that this doesn't end until Miramar, the final one, in which case you have a big goal ahead of you to get towards that top 3. Falcons falling behind, but they probably made it through via Western European points anyway in terms of the PMGC rankings. But money's on the line here for a lot of these teams. They absolutely do want to pump out highlights from Kara that game, who were able to do very well towards the end there. But yeah, not an easy part of the map to play at all, Joe.
No, it was that open area around the farm positions. I mean, even Regnum Kaya towards the end, I mean, they had the tower, sure, but they had to lay real low. And in the end, weren't quite able to get the 6 points they needed. Instead, They only got 7 points, I think they needed. They only got the 5. Ulf did, though, manage to get the 6 points that they needed and cross that Smash boundary. So still in first place, but only by a hair. However, does give them an opportunity no one else has, that Smash victory. Kara with 22, though, and that should see them up to 121 points and within striking distance of breaking that Smash boundary as well. So them and Regnum Kaya both have that opportunity afforded to them. The teams just beneath them weren't quite so lucky. I'm looking at Falcons here, not really able to keep pace, as well as Jetgo. 0 points on that game blank. This is a really nice breath of fresh air for Kara in terms of that space now in third place.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the main thing, is just the space gained by picking up those 22 points is a really, really big deal for them, and require teams to really push hard now. Because again, you have a situation where, like you say, if Ulf is able to end it in the next couple of games, Kara's got a big distance between them and fourth place now. It requires Besiktas and Team Falcons to have chicken dinners in the next couple of games, and then a little bit more after that, because these are not small games that Team Falcons, as well as Besiktas, as I suppose Asgard as well, need to get. I mean, all the way down to Czechko. I mean, all 6 of these teams have a chance, but only one of them can grab it.
Yeah, I mean, 93 points there. And remember, 4th and potentially even 5th place are pretty crucial placings as well. If you want to get to PMGC, the opportunity is there to potentially, in 5th place, depending on how the Falcons do, get yourself a league stage spot into that tournament. So 93 was where we cut off that first page. We're now on 89 with Papara Supermassive. So they're also, I mean, still in the running for those 4th, 5th place spots to try and jump on up there. And in fact, probably at this stage with 3 matches left, all the way down to Bra. I think from Anorthosis down, that's where it started to get close to impossible.
Yeah, because I mean, 75 points may seem good, but you just lack the games to do it in. Like, for instance, if we had 12 matches, that's 12 matches of chances for Anorthosis to hit 3 big games. You only have 3 games left. So it's just there's not a potential there for them. It's super tough. Very, very tough to make happen now.
Yeah, it's going to be real difficult. And again, the noisy boys. Oh, well. S2G, the big story. The double chicken dinner that they've had so far, not even reaching the placement points of Anorthosis Famagusta. That's not good. That's really not good, you know?
No.
They've been fumbling time and time again. And sure, you know, they've got the history, they've got the emotion, but they just don't have the gunplay. They don't have the strats to back it up. But they've certainly got the fans. But disappointment, probably, in their very near future.
Yeah, I think at least for those guys, there will be the saving grace, like you say, that there are people cheering for them. But it's just getting so far out of reach now for some of these squads, some of these quite prominent squads as well. We are having the lobby filled up as we speak, up to 45 right now, but they're coming through pretty quickly as we're going to head in towards our final Erangel of PMSL EU Fall.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty nerve-wracking, I'm sure, and it will be very interesting to see if that dynamic shift, that gear shift that you were talking about for Ulf, can come through, right? If they can now feel a little bit more confident that, oh, if we go for a risky play and go down, it's really not the end of the world here, because we are almost certainly going to be in the top 3 spots. I think if after these 3 games Ulf isn't in the top 3 spots, I don't know what has to have happened there, but it's super, super unlikely. The same is going to be true for Regnum Kaya, in fact, on their scoreline. It would need so many teams to do so well that I'm just not seeing it coming on in.
Let's take a look at our top 4 Grenadiers. Not Fallow with 7, actually, which is a pretty significant portion of all of them. He was on 5 before that last game, but there was a really, really good Nady tossed through the window over towards BRA, which set himself up lovely to hit that 7 marker. Here's a head-to-head between Real as well as CEO. So that's Kara and Asgard from that last game. Real's been doing some good work over the last few matches, especially for Asgard. I think he's one of the players that is definitely keeping them in the mix in a big way. But yeah, CEO also doing very well. But I think it's Marceau and Lewis who I'm mostly looking at. as the big performers from Kara.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. What's interesting here is the survival time for Real on Asgard, right? Being in the games longer than Kara, but Kara have 3 chicken dinners, which is pretty notable, I think, for Real. Maybe surviving a little bit longer than the rest of his team in general, but yeah, to outperform a Kara player on survival time, that's pretty impressive stuff.
It really is. It really, really is. I think that, like I said, I think for Real, he has been doing the majority of the work over on Asgard, and you are always going to find this with a lot of teams that you have 1-star player on it. It's very few. I mean, there is a lot more here in PMSL EU that we have like Titan squads, let's call them that, where they have 4 players who are all insane at what they do. But yeah, I think for Asgard, they're certainly still in that boat where you have one top performer, and that top performer is definitely Real.
Yeah, it's been really good to see that from him, but unfortunately, it's just not being backed up right now with the match results. Right, that is what we're looking for. That's what we are missing for the time being, which is unfortunate. But that's just the way it goes. Not everyone could be a winner when it comes to these championships. The PMSL does not hold any bars. We will be seeing who's going to take the top spot. Kara securing that 3rd place nicely. I feel like, Jetgo, you were talking about them being a bit of a surprise entry towards the top. I feel like now other teams are starting to come alive and sort of take advantage of that passivity, of that sort of just let the points come to us kind of approach. And they've been giving a real run, and I don't think that they've got the stamina, their cardio not quite up to scratch.
Yeah, I think that would be fair to say. It would be fair to say. I think for quite a few of our teams, they're looking to, at least in this next match, get over the smash point. There's 2 of them that can still do it, which is Regnum Kaya as well as Kara. I knew it would come back to Bayers at some point, the double Kayas. But again, those require them to not have that same issue that Ulf had, which is a little bit of passivity, a little bit scared in some of these matches, not make it. Again, I think this could be a big blast out from Ulf, considering now they don't have that massive pressure on them to get over the smash point ruling.
Yeah, they have a little bit more room to breathe. What happens if Regnum Kaya take down Kara with a Kar 98? What happens then?
It's Kaya getting dominated by the... God, yeah, never mind.
Ooh. What about this? Regnum Kaya take down Kara with the Kar 98 out the window of a car.
And then you've really got me having an issue there. And I'm not prepared for tongue twisters today.
That's a real tough one there. Might happen, you never know. But I feel like leaning out the window of a car with a Kar 98 and hitting the shot to take down an entire squad, that's very unlikely, I would say. So we'll wait and see if such unlikely futures are going to come to pass. I wish I knew what that said. I'm sure it's lovely.
Yeah.
He looks very friendly.
I mean, cheering for Kara. I think that there's certainly a team that has... I think this match is probably going to be the make or break match for Kara, though. Considering it's Erangel, I think that their Miramar is a little bit weaker. It's the case with a lot of teams that haven't consistently played an international format, that they have one big map that they're good at, and that map usually is Erangel. I think Alpha 7 is definitely that kind of the outlier that was always insane at Miramar, and that was their map.
Everybody gearing up for the last Erangel. The last time we see the grassy pastures here for the fall season, and for 2025 in Europe. Next time we'll see it will be on the global stages, and not all of our teams will see them. Themselves taking to the skies over it. Everyone getting there.
We have all our players now in the lobby. Yeah, and we're ready to go. I think we shall be starting very shortly now.
Ooh,
heading into our 4th match of the day.
Absolutely. Can't wait. We're looking forward to this one, of course, as we've highlighted time and time again. Ulf in that smash point boundary. It's Kara and Regnum Kaya both chasing for that boundary as well to give themselves the opportunity at the start of our Miramars. Outside of that, very unlikely that we're going to see anyone else joining them in that smash boundary. At this stage, the opportunities to jump up there, they're dwindling fast, and I do not expect to be seeing anyone else there.
No, I think it's a little bit too late type of deal for a lot of our squads. Getting 3 into the smash point ruling is pretty cool, though. Sometimes you only see 1 or 2 make it happen. This time around, likely to see 3 of them make it through, unless Ulf shuts it all down right now. There is the unfortunate added pressure of being the only team over the smash point ruling. So it's sort of one of those things like, right now, right here, this is where we can do it. But maybe you put a little bit too much pressure on yourself by saying that.
As we head into our last Erangel, the plane path from Georgopol down to the south edge of Sosnovka military base, a little bit west-leaning, but our team seem to be used to it by now. We'll see just how this one unfolds, and all eyes on Ulf. With that smash boundary passed, their options are very clear as to what do they need to achieve. But they could do it the old-fashioned way, just get those points on board. We'll see if their confidence will stand the test here. As teams will hunt them down, I'm sure.
They may do. And I think for Ulf, it is somewhat frightening that they dropped so close to Regnum Kaya in the first place. Heading over towards school area. If I was Regnum Kaya, I may have a say-in towards that position. I think Regnum Kaya realizes, we could do some serious damage over towards Ulf in this game. It's likely will remain in top 3 regardless of what happens going forward now. There is that chance. But we also know Regnum Kaya to be a very much by the books type of team. And going out their way to eliminate others isn't really to their fancy.
I think the only time we've seen that from them was at PMGC 2024, right? In that final game, where they took the crazy option to stay. If you haven't seen that game, by the way, guys at home, incredible. Went to the East Islands on Miramar. Regnum Kai was the only team, I think, that took the option to stay on the mainland and take shots at people going for the cross. And they got a huge number of eliminations. I think that's the only time I've seen Regnum Kai really go for that sort of strategy. And it nearly worked. It was so close.
It's so unfortunate because that game right there is the one where Regnum Kaya actually make a really smart decision. I hope it doesn't affect them into the future, because the only reason they lost is because E plus Kia went for the complete opposite, which was to play again by the books and just head across early, and them getting such a high placement off that game secured their victory. I think it was by like 2 or 1 points.
I think it was 1. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 1 point on that tournament. But yeah, they can't. And it's great to see that Silas has kind of taken that in stride, and the rest of the team as well. Regnum Kaya have been just consistently strong ever since then. Taking down PMGO, doing all right at PMWC, and now here again, up into second place, looking to challenge for that first.
TMB! I mean, they've given it their all, but I think their all is not enough. Won't be going too much further than this, but let's take a look in where teams are rotating, because typically both Regnum Kaya as well as Ulf will need to start moving fairly shortly to get towards the circle. It is funny that Ulf is literally on exactly 134 on the smash ruling.
Yeah, that's pretty nice to see that 4th place really doing wonders for them. And Kara delivered it to them, actually. They rolled out on towards Papra Supermassive to take down the 5th team. And allowed them to go in before turning their attention to Ulf. Had they not done that, we would be on a level footing for, well, mostly Regnum Kaya and Ulf, but potentially to give Kara that outside chance. Nobody else over 100 points, though. Those 4th and 5th place spots, very, very important. 4th more than 5th, because it's the Falcons, really, who are going to be affecting whether or not that 5th place is in or not.
Yeah, and it's funny that they took those fights in the order they did, because if they hadn't, you have this situation where they actually buy themselves an extra game. X-Lay, it feels like they realize their tournament's coming to a close as well, as they are the first team to get wiped over on Erangel. Asgard picking that up, and they will ladder off that into 4th place. I think Ida was actually able to steal away 1. Oh no, they were just taking shots over to Asgard now.
Yeah, and
And
looks like
TMB.
No, that's the south side. We don't talk about that. That's happening. We don't even need to acknowledge it. But Asgard are taking more damage, though. Emre, doing bits.
Yeah, I mean, they got 4 elims. They ladder up. That's it. Your game's now finished. Ida similarly also on the hunt as well. Down in 10th place, but massive capability to ladder up. This, like, middling portion of the leaderboard is so disgustingly volatile. 98 in 4th down to 87th in 10th.
It's very, very closely fought, especially after 15 games as the Noisy Boys go down as well. It's really, really volatile because we've seen such an inflation in the middle of the tables. Normally, at this stage, you're expecting to see the leaders somewhere up towards like 150, right? Somewhere around that sort of mark. And so you've taken those points away, you've chopped them off the first 2-3 teams and distributed them amongst the rest of the lobby, as well as the notable lack of points at the bottom of the table for the Noisy Boys, and to an extent Pmsl as well. Those have sort of also been donated to the chaos that we're seeing now further up.
But does bode well for Ulf, though, because removing 2 teams from the lobby this early in the game opens up more space on the map. And because Ulf and Regnum Karya both need to rotate in over towards this western side fairly quickly, the Noisy Boys haven't crossed West Bridge, Pmsl aren't coming in from that north side, so box compound is open. This is a fairly reasonable rotate for both squads.
They're making their way in. A lot of teams already around that Everest area, though. It'll be difficult. Regnum Karya have got there a little bit further to the north, a little bit quicker over towards some of the ruins positions. And that's going to divert Ulf back up to the hilltop there. But they're playing smart. They're playing for the win. They're playing for the win here, not just of the match, but the whole tournament with that smash rule.
Still figuring out where they want to go. A lot of diversion going on right now. But they're going to take up the building that looks out towards Pachinki. Interesting spot to go for. I think Regnum Karya decided actually they're just going to send further in over towards Southside Ruins, towards the compounds underneath Everest. I actually like that spot a little better. And it might be that they spotted Regnum Karya going for that position and just opted to rotate south instead.
Looking to try and take on Time for Tissue. Goes well. They don't take a casualty. Point picked up. Bra losing 1. They're now down to 2 players alive. And that's going to be happy days for S2G. They got 2 points, but they're still on 75.
Yeah, S2G falling massively out of favor now. With so many other teams having like their step-up performances, I mean, I think Fenerbahce's definitely redeemed themselves. Pabra Supermassive, maybe not, but still 89 is really not bad. Not the performance we expected after what we witnessed in the group stages and knockouts, considering they did really well there. Far and ahead, away from anyone else in the lobby over in knockouts. Waiting for this second zone shift in about 5 seconds from now.
It's going to be very important for our teams up towards the north. Ulf diverted down towards Gatka, Regnum Karya over to the east, but we're going all the way on the west coast here, Blank. This is nasty. There's not too much to be playing around. We're looking at the swamp, taking a lot of ground here over on the west edge of Gatka Fields. S2G, IWNRX currently in those spots, but plenty of teams descending upon it. Look at the crunch.
Yeah, this is a terrifying second zone shift. Usually you see a lot of the water in the first zone, but this one cuts around about 35% in on this side. A lot of teams immediately sending for this ridge side that sits down on the west, but look how many teams are getting involved here. Immediately, Edis taking shots over towards Asgard. They lose down to 1 player, BRA down to 1 themselves, but plenty of teams taking a little bit of flak damage here and there.
It is getting nasty, getting close range, and that zone too. It's a big shrink, and then as you say, cutting out so much of this zone with unplayable water is going to make things even harder. Ida They've managed to get into some buildings on the west coast, and I feel like this is probably one of the more secure spots. Falcons to their south, S2G further south than that. There's this lineup of ocean view apartments here that are going down in value by the second.
Koa, quick bandage. Who's back at me for Falcons? Pretty important game for them as well. Set themselves apart. I mean, although the run could end here, they definitely want to place themselves in a position where they could still catch up to the rest. I think Falcon's spot isn't terrible, honestly. Ulf, though, beginning with a little bit of a barrage over towards Anathosis. No Elim picked up from the back of it just yet, though.
A lot of teams lined up actually down the coastline. Not too many teams staying away. One of them, though, is Regnum Kaya, Blank. They're playing up towards the radio tower with IWNRX just beneath them towards the swamp. It's a very lined up lobby right now. There is just a single line of teams that exists in the middle of this of this all. Nobody playing out towards Quarry, nobody playing out towards Everest.
Really bold pickup, though, from Ulf. I mean, they squeezed out a lot of teams to get a really nice central position for themselves, which almost guarantees them at least a decent spot in the next circle, depending on a hard shift or not. I mean, if this hard shifts over towards the north side, most teams are pretty ruined anyway. It'll be a devastating rotate up towards that north side, past fields, into hospital. So yeah, I think most teams are hoping for a southern shift on this one.
I mean, even then, it's still nasty open ground. I mean, moving up towards Quarry, there's a couple of compounds you can play around, but still, same option being taken. Kara, nade over towards Jetgo.
Nice.
Suppressing them. There's that south shift. This is probably, as you say, one of the kinder positions. But I'm looking at Regnum Kaya and thinking about where a Besiktas going to go, where a Fenerbahce, where a Papara Supermassive going to go. And they're going to have their first challenge. Besiktas look at a crash.
I mean, this is the game for Ulf, right? I think this is about as much as it could have been served up on a platter to them. Trying to give it their best shot, realistically. They have a central position. They're controlling a lot of ground. They just need to hold out now. I think if it doesn't happen here, I don't know if it's happening on Miramar.
Celian gets around the edge there. CEO he's crawling down to safety. A nade might be what is needed to dispatch Lewis, but he's repositioned already. Not going to be on the angle. Celian trying to step up, but can't go for the peak to get that flush. The rest of Jetgo off in the distance, seemingly wanting to come through, and they have to indeed as well. Anothosis Famagusta in the meantime have pushed down. They've pushed out. They want to chime in on this fight. They've already got 5 elims this match, Blank, and we'll see if they are going to be able to find out more. But they've gained some ground and some exposure on that western side. Hang on a minute. Have Ulf just sent straight to the middle of this one?
That's what I was talking about. I've been talking about it the past 3 minutes, John.
But like, I thought they were on the north.
No, I said they were here since Zone 2.
Oh, okay. Hang on a minute. That's Ida, and they're also great. Okay, that's what got me confused.
Yeah, they've been here since Zone 2. I was just saying that this is a game served up to almost golden platter. Like if this is the game to do it in, this absolutely is the game to do it in.
I mean, they've got this singular opportunity. So the question for a lot of other teams is how many points can they get? Is Asgard's 4 getting up into 4th place? Is that going to be enough? Are they going to get a qualification spot because of that? In towards the league stage? I mean, it could be. It could be that important that they've got those 4 early.
Yeah. I mean, the qualification just trickling down right now. I mean, I think that the storyline I'd like to see is Fenerbahce getting 4th place, because it will be in a big comeback story for them. It would have been cool to see Jetgo get it, but considering they're down to 1 player, very, very unlikely. It also will require, obviously, Ulf to win this game, but they have such an insane spot right now.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. They've got control of some really nice terrain. The ridge to their south could pose a threat, but there's not really too many teams on that south edge that could do it. I mean, Regnum Kaya, to be fair, also have a pretty solid spot here, Blank. Taking a look at the map, it's just got better. It's just got better as well. So Regnum Kaya might be able to take this one away from them. And Fenerbahce are trying to think about poking their noses in. But Regnum Kaya's compound is just so strong here too.
Yeah, it's on high ground as well. I think the funny thing is about this is that, honestly, if this circle went a little bit over towards the east, I reckon that's probably where Ulf would have ended up. But that is a very hard shift over towards the eastern side. That might have just confirmed it. For Regnum Kaya, there's realistically not a lot of other places to play around here. And Ulf has yet to move because everyone knows they're in this compound. They've been taking shots. He is getting ripped to pieces.
Oh no, on the approach. Koa has gone down, but he's on the inside here. Can crawl back, and there's healing necessary on the outside. Ralph wants to bounce a nade around the corner, try and find the player healing. Looks for it, doesn't quite connect. Emre Molotov onto the inside with one player down and one player already flushed. The Falcons have had a little bit of ordnance sent back their way, but a second bounce from Ralph finds the backboard he was looking for. The spray down from S2G, the off angle, looks like it might be here. Redox steps out for the flush.
Should be a full reset here for the Falcons. Darkin last left alive. There's sightlines over his way. It goes in though. That could be decent. Ooh. Doesn't quite push the players though. Emre will be taken out to limit that information.
They've got to leave. The blue zone's upon them, Blank. They don't have time to be mucking about like this, and that's exactly what you need. Koa shuts it down, and immediately the Falcons need to be on the charge. They are up into 4th place, but remember, they pushed that boundary down, so it's still 4th or 5th place, depending on where the Falcons end up. That is really important here. And Regnum Kaya are now 1 point shy of the smash boundary.
I mean, if they win this game, they're kicking themselves for not being able to get the smash point earlier today. Yeah, it's such an incredible spot for them. It's not definite on that side. It's already shifted to the east hard once. Does it do it again?
Well, that would help. I would be slightly worried about teams on the south. But even then, I think they have the height advantage over that area as well. And with Kara also taking a hit from Anathosis Famagusta, it's going to slow the approach from that south edge. Looks like they're going to make their way up. See what they can get done. Kara still in their way. Black Mazada wants a piece. Doesn't connect.
The lucky break here is that because there's only 10 teams left in the lobby, rotating around this circle is a lot easier. Considering it's stage 4 and we've lost almost half the lobby already, this does make rotates slightly more simple. S2G's rotating down towards Ulf right now, though.
I mean, they are still backs to the blue. They aren't going immediately into this building set. You can see Ulf established 2 and 2. Rolling up to it. They didn't want to go. They want to try and soften it before they make their entrance. But their presence is now fully known. Nobody likely to break out this far. So unless there's a long-range engagement, maybe from Regnum Kaya, maybe from IWNRX onto this spot, it could go their way. A hard north shift. We're going up towards the top here, and IWNRX actually making the most of it. But it's such a difficult ridge to play around. And as soon as Regnum Kaya move out, I mean, there's oversight onto it. A nade in.
Oh dear.
Aaron's down.
That's a very nice nade from S2G. I feel like Ulf should have seen this coming, but that's a very, very good starter. They are playing 2 and 2, so there's potential to get their player back up again, but they are layering smokes, looking for the big push. That nade at least will buy Ulf time. Res underneath. Catch needs to be clean.
One. Steps up very, very clean on that first. The rest of the team needs to be making moves now. He's going to abandon Aaron. I think this is the right decision here. Can't really withstand too much more. They're not going to push in as well. They're getting slow. And he's going to burn on the inside. The Scarface makes the straight across. Does get cut down, but can catch do more. Around the box. Looks for another. He steps up there low. S2G starting to flounder, but it's all up to Solus.
No way!
It's a 1v1 and Hamzy just pulls the trigger in time. All full down. No smash today. But Regnum Kaya are past the boundary. They cannot win it this time, but next game, don't forget a 2-horse race. Kara, they want to join them.
Dear me. I mean, Ketch had done so much. I don't know how the rest of Ulf didn't just pull the socks up and make that happen. The guy had basically decimated the entire team. What happened to the other two players?
Ah, too little, too late. Lackluster response, unfortunately. Maybe the Ulf of today is the Ulf that is going to continue to perpetuate itself throughout the games. That's great news for Regnum Kaya, for Kara as well.
It's good news for all of our teams underneath as well. More chances at getting that 4th place. Besiktas will currently take it for the time being. But we're down to 8 teams at 20 minutes. Only 24 players still remaining in the match. Regnum Kai is happy to sit back and relax on the southeast side, understanding how treacherous this circle really is, with all fielded off towards the west.
Kara need 5 more points right now. They have guaranteed one placement point here. If they get rid of the last player from Jetgo, not only is that an elim, it's also an extra placement. That's exactly what they needed, right? That's a... Oh, no, it's not an extra placement. 7th and 8th are the same. So just the 1 point still, but they are a step closer. On 128 now, with 5 points necessary. But S2G, just over the hill, playing as 3. They're going to regroup further away.
Lewis leaving, but does get taken down by S2G. 90 FPS in the roster here. Facing Kelsey. Interesting. I saw Kelsey yesterday having a bit of a breakdown, honestly. Giving him a little bit of a break might be the right idea. But it comes at a strange time.
The chance, but he's on the dirt. There's no way he's getting away with that. Solke immediately tearing up the turf, mowing the lawn there. And that's a point easily picked up for S2G. And Kara slowly dwindling now. Lewis, maybe a survival game is what they need, but Regnum Kaya go for a wide sweep. They move south of this roadside. Look for more.
They know teams are going to be trying to get in through this area of the map, right? Clean teams out there, it would be perfect. Solke immediately down to the play zone. A little bit of damage from Zed Wolf. Here, the vehicle underneath them. Nades pulled from Wild, but they're long gone, dude.
Lewis is taking shots, though. He's given his position away to Regnum Kaya. They should have probably known about it already. They've left Loxy back over on the compound for Regnum Kaya. It's a 3-man flex out. Over to the middle. Kara down to 1 player, though. It might be on the menu for Regnum Kaya to stop them joining them in the smash boundary.
Upra, super massive. To hold on. 90 points total, not bad. Boomkins, their direct competitors, and Besiktas get so. Currently in 4th place. Kine will take down 90 FPS, but not before Hamzy G can get a little bit of payback.
Comes the crash. Supermassive right on top of them now. Not all of them are there yet, but the nade is on target. Lost opens, and he opens well. Falconist is low, and Kamikaze found his teammate on the outside. Boran immediately flushed, and the rest of them careening straight in, bouncing off the rooftops with the buggies. They will find themselves careening in. Unfortunately, there's a step out. Zeptimus keeps himself together, but not for long. There's a gut shot in his future, and it will be put down. That is Besiktas eliminated. They're down to 5th place, and Asgard now up in 4th.
It's all over the place, realistically. Akron able to live this game out. Kara down to just the singular player, though. I think that he's going to have a very tough time of getting his team up towards smash ruling.
They need 4 more points than now. 2 placements.
It would need to come second, right? To make it work. I mean...
3 more points than now.
Well... It's hard.
Oh my
where he's placed as well. Regnum Kai, absolutely no. He has to leave. There is vehicles in front of him that haven't been completely burnt out.
I mean, Zed Wolf has to leave as well.
Smoke's going to give the game away.
I'm looking at Hamzy G, thinking, how long can he survive, right? That's an extra placement point for Kara. But I'm mean, Regnum Kaya at this point, they're dead set on this. I don't think they want to invest too many nades, and I think probably rightly so. They can be a bit chill, because you know a lot of the teams up to the north are dealing with each other.
This is the third Regnum Kaya win, no?
Oh, there he goes. He's out. No smash boundary broken.
Would this be the third Regnum Kaya win or the second?
Of today?
Today?
They won the first game. They didn't win the second game.
They did not win the third game either, but they have had
game.
super high placements throughout.
Yeah, they've done pretty well. I think, well, I mean, in that last game, right, they had a really strong central spot, and we thought they might win. But then it shifted away from them, and the tower didn't really go so well for them. So now it's a question of how far can Regnum Kaya go? How far up these tables away from Ulf? Because they are in first place now, and they will be at the end of this match.
Ooh, great shot from Kamikaze over towards Kikala as he attempts to leave. 2 4-man squads in Regnum Kaya and Papara Supermassive.
I mean, it feels like this is gearing up for a Regnum Kaya win, but Papara Supermassive as well with these high grounds could be really, really dangerous for them.
Very much slows down. This kind of circle requires like zone 8, zone 9 to start cleaning things out. No one really wants to leave their buildings. Swain will have to. Yeah, more placements for S2G as Hamzy will just stay hidden.
Ooh, Swain just trading off, but yeah, he has to step out. Surely he goes down here, hits the deck, denies the point. Nobody going to be able to snaffle that one away. And S2G survive up into the top 3 with Hamzy G staying on the belt buckle. Regnum Kaya controlling these hill ridges over towards the water. Next zone, it pops. It gives Regnum Kaya the better spot here as Papara Supermassive going to have to move down.
Kamikaze looking to leave now, has a vehicle to work with, but blue is ticking hard in zone 8. Wild providing information back first, but they have this really nice position. That's a smart move. Take the time to do it now.
Silas on the wide flank out to the right-hand side there. Most that Papara Supermassive are going to have to make their move, and when they do, Silas will be launching an assault from that sideline. I don't know if they spotted it either. I think he went out there on foot, potentially. And this is what they're worried about. This is what they're getting done. And he is worried about solos as well, you can tell.
Zedwolf is so far to the side. I mean, fair enough, because who they're looking for right now is Hamzy.
Yeah.
Wild is so lucky to have that vehicle there. Blocks away all the damage from the nades. There's no information passed back. Didn't get to see whether that nade did any damage.
Gearing up. Stage 9 will go central, and again, that's in Regnum Kaya's favor. The rest of the team lining up and crush forwards now. Papara Supermassive has gone past him around and given him a slip, but no, the rest of the team are there to pick up the pieces, and that's Papara Supermassive getting evaporated. And now it is just Hamzy up into a second place. He's given his game away. He knows where he is. He knows what's about to happen to him, and he's going to call them in, see what he can do. But the answer is nothing. Regnum Kaya with 2 chicken dinners today. Take that top spot, but they're going to need to do it again to find a smash victory here.
Damn, so unfortunate. Imagine if they'd gone a little bit further in that previous game. I mean, you can even see that with Loxy throwing up the 2 fingers. Wild, sorry, throwing up the 2 fingers, and rightly so, because if they were able to get 2 points on their previous match, that right there would have ended the whole tournament.
Or any of their previous matches, indeed. Not just that last one. It could have gone either way, but with that chicken dinner, they are going to put a huge gap into the lobby. No matter what now, they are guaranteed to be making a gauntlet spot and representing Europe and representing Turkey as well, their home region, in the world stage that we will see later this year in Thailand.
I mean, very much deserved as well, because it's an incredible performance from them. I was kind of waiting for when this would happen, because truly I do believe that this is some kind of God squad. That's 3 chicken dinners. Equalizing now with Kara. Very, very well done.
I was hoping that Kara could maybe do a little bit more here as well and really start to lock down that 3rd place spot. I mean, they were so close to that boundary, and give themselves the opportunity to win the whole thing in the next. That would have been really cool. I think having all 3 of the teams have the chance to close it down, I think that would have been really good fun going into this one. But I think they were 2 points shy, 2 or 3 points shy of that boundary. But that does mean that going into match 6, if we get there, that is very likely that that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that when we get through to match 5, at least, like you're saying, it's likely we'll go through to match 6, but I'm excited to see what kind of distance we can see put up between Regnum Kaya and the rest of the lobby. I'm excited to see which teams are able to battle it out for that 4th place position. It's still just a 2-horse race now, though, with both Regnum Kaya as well as Ulf trying to find that chicken dinner. So even if Regnum Kaya does pull far ahead, Ulf can still win and finish it all out.
Yeah, that's true.
Unlikely. Kind of sad for Ulf as well, because the way they angled down towards that south side, that was a compound that they could have taken. But they went fully central. And because Regnum Kaya was late to the party, they select the next best thing. So crazy.
Yeah, it's a very difficult set of rotations, but here's those final moments. I love that Hansi G was like, well, I know what's happened here. I'm just going to pop a smoke out. Let's have a go. Come have a go. And yeah, he went for the beat. Didn't deny the point, which he could have done. And there you go. MVP was Hamzy G, in fact, in the end. Okay, there you go. 939 on the damage for Elims.
Yeah, I mean, 16 points on the game for S2G is honestly nothing to scoff at. Honestly, nothing to scoff at here. I think it will send them further in the lobby. For S2G, the goal right now is 4th place, right? So it's a good thing Ulf didn't win that game, because it gives them more time to set themselves up. Very, very interesting to bring 90 FPS in to the lobby as well, instead of Calci.
Yeah, that is something that they have changed today. And I wonder, if we go to match 6, are we going to see the S2G magic coming back? Are we going to see 3 for 3 on the final game of the day? That's what you got to worry about if you're fighting for that 4th place spot. Our top Elims came from Zedwolf. That was 5. And it was Asgard to take most damage there. So Hamzy G splitting the difference and making his mark on the lobby for the roster. With only 4 Elims as well, which is nice to see. Asgard, they got a lot of points this game, Blank. And they jumped up and put that challenge in a place that I don't think we expected Asgard to at the start of the day.
No, I don't think so either. But again, it's still very obvious to me that Asgard is an unproven team. But they are really, really putting the effort in. And I think if you're a fan of Asgard, you should be very proud of them, because this is versus some of the most insane squads in the world right now. Here's the final statistics for Regnum Kaya. It's not a ginormous game. 10 Elims, a 20-pointer, which is still very good, but you can see the damage numbers here aren't very high. Typically on that kind of a map, you want to stay pretty covered and then just control the end game, because it's a lot of uncomfortable space. At least they locked down that southeast side for them, which was the most important part of the equation.
Yeah, they didn't really have too much to worry about as well, given how linear the entire lobby was, right? When we went to that west coast, everybody stacked up next to the coastline. They were one of, I think, 3 teams who were inland at that stage, with Ulf having gone a little bit further on when they were sort of both rotating at a similar time. And I think that, it's very interesting that it's that lineup kind of happened. And I don't think anyone really enjoyed it, right? I mean, it was S2G who were able to survive the longest because of it, and Profit probably the most because of that position. But yeah, Regnum Kaya just shut them all out. We're going to head down to the stage to see what they got for us.
Değil mi? Şimdi penguenimiz yine dans gösterisi yapacak. Arkada ekranlarda da yansıyacak nasıl bir dans yapmanız gerektiği. Eğer o dansı yaparsanız sevgili arkadaşlar en iyi yapan 3 arkadaşımıza boy t-shirt hediye edeceğiz. Hemen şimdiden ekranlardan görün. Sonra da penguenimizi taklit edin diyebilirim. Davut.
No, you're not going to ask me to get crazy again, are you? Listen, we're almost at the end of this crazy day. Maybe. But you know what? I want to remind the viewers, so if our lovely penguin can show us the crazy chicken dance, and then we'll see our crazy dance skills from the audience. So our lovely penguin will demonstrate, and then we'll see who has the skills.
Evet, görelim bakalım dansı. Ben de tribünlere bakayım, yeni kim dans ediyor?
Let's see, where do we see? I mean, we got a lot of people right now. I mean, look, Belgian, here at the store, we have a few in this front row. So maybe we can have a look over here, and then we'll give you another chance to showcase your skills once we have the cameraman right on you.
Evet, şimdi en güzel dans eden arkadaşımızı görmeye çalışıyorum. Evet, başlasın. Bir kez daha deniyoruz. Şöyle bir göreyim. En güzel kim dans ediyor? Ama bakın ona benzer. Evet, buldum. Şurada Fenerbahçe formalı bir arkadaşımız var. Fenerbahçe değil mi? Doğru görüyorum. Evet. 10 numaralı arkadaşımız Alex forması bu. Evet. O arkadaşımıza bir tane hediye ediyoruz. Davut.
I think, okay, who do you choose though? Gray, green, or blue? From these three.
Okay. Tişörtlü arkadaşımız. Evet. Bir de minik taraftar var. Evet. Mavi tişörtlü arkadaşımızı çektik mi arkadaşlar?
So, you've chosen the first one. Okay, let's see if we can find more.
Bir de minik taraftarımız var bir de. Evet, görelim dansını. Minik taraftarın görelim dansını.
Once again, we have a very, very young PUBG Mobile fan.
Evet, yapsın bakalım bir dansı. Evet, bence en güzelini yaptı. Evet, aldık. Bir hediyemiz de kardeşimize gitti. Tamam. Mavi tişörtlü arkadaşımıza da zaten verdik. Doğru mu?
Which one? Blue?
Okay. Belki görebildik mi? Evet,
Okay.
mavi tişörtlü.
Blue t-shirt, you have our first one for the dancers.
3 arkadaşımız dans gösterisindeki üstün performansıyla bizden 3 adet tişört kazandı.
We have a couple of crazy ones on that side if we can get our lovely cameraman over on that angle, and then yes, showcase your skills. I mean, look, he's going crazy.
Evet, fazlasıyla hak etti.
I think that energy deserves a shirt.
Evet, hak etti, o da hak etti.
All right. One more, or I think we're done.
Enough.
Okay. I think we've driven the fans crazy enough so far.
Evet, arkadaşımız daha devam edelim mi diye rica etse de süremizin darlığından dolayı devam edeceğiz. Sanıyorum Tankut ve Gökhan, Yargıç Tony bizi bekliyorlar. Belki de Smash kuralı devreye girecek. Çünkü 2 takım bunu hak eder duruma geldi. Onlara gidelim bakalım neler olacak.
That's right. 2 teams in the Smash rule have applied to them. Actually, it is going to be Ulf, it is Regnum Carry, and now there's a chance the tournament can end. But let's run over back to the analyst desk. Thank you very much, everyone. Teşekkürler to our penguin. Teşekkürler to our lovely fans in the arena. And let's get back to the games.
Well, Erangel is done. We've had our Dancing Penguin session. We are now heading in to Miramar for our final 2 matches, although it's not guaranteed that we'll see both of them. because, of course, two teams can take it all here and now. The rest of them champing at the bit to earn as many points as they can while they still can.
Yep, we're getting into towards our final two matches of the day. We thought it might end a little bit earlier, especially with Rondo being in the mix, giving a chance for Ulf to earn 10 points in their first game. Not the case, as it usually is. And we should have really believed from the very start that going to be another classic smash ruling. Wait until match 6. Let's take a look at some highlights from that last game. It was a very treacherous match indeed. Kara getting some points, Regnum Kai with some good shots. But it was Ulf getting taken down early, which was the major point of contention here.
Yeah, and that fight against S2G, and S2G ended up playing second in that game, right? If Ketch, if only Ketch had done a little bit more than almost everything, he might have been able to keep them up and alive, and maybe as more players as well in that same place that we saw from S2G towards the end, and that was the final moments as Hamza G did get taken down. Let's take a look at the points that were earned. Of course, Regnum Kaya with 20. They are going to be up over that 150 mark now. I think that puts them on 152. S2G with 16 points. Kara with 10. Papa Supermassive 11. A lot of teams chasing. A lot of teams earning good points here.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, S2G getting the 16 is the main story off the back of this one. Papa Supermassive also starting to catch up quite a bit. Kara solidifying their third place still with 10 points on this game. I mean, there's quite a few points to sit down towards fifth, roundabouts ninth place with 4 points for the Falcons after their pretty decent fight actually early on. But yeah, very, very rough circle, difficult to play in that one. But we're waiting to get over towards Miramar. We'll see how that one does go. But it is to Miramar's next. Now, S2G get the chance at Miramar once again. They need a fourth place here, John.
They definitely will be looking for it. That, of course, that fourth place will be the transferred regional point spot. We're sort of accepting at this point that Ulf is going to get a gauntlet spot, which is why it will transfer. And the way that works is if you get a gauntlet spot and a regional point spot, the regional point spot goes down the PMSL finals tables to whoever is next highest up on that ranking. So as it stands, if you take a look, that would go to Asgard because it would be Ulf winning out on the point spot, and that would trickle down to Asgard for a qualification. But that spot in fourth is so closely contested, Blank. They're only in it by 1 point, and there's 3 teams who broke the century in that last match as well.
Yeah, there is a ridiculous amount of teams fighting for that fourth position, and it is split between 1 point between 5th, 6th, and 7th. Only that one singular point is pushing Asgard towards the top with their 28 placement points and 71 eliminations, which is pretty ridiculous indeed. Team Falcons looking to try and get that one as our Jetgo. As we head over towards our second page, I'm very curious to see where S2G matches up to all of this.
Yeah, remember we're on 101 in fourth place. At this point, it's looking pretty clear that we've got our top 3. It's just a question of who's going to be able to be in that top spot. And we go down to 89. That is so close, right? That's 12 points behind fourth place. This is definitely doable for them. And in fact, definitely doable for a lot of our teams that maybe we previously counted out. I think Ida maybe where I draw the line underneath. Anathosis Famagusta with 81, making up 20 or so points in 2 games. Yeah, maybe. But they'd also require everybody else above them also not to be doing very well. It's going to be very difficult for them. So I think, S2G is still an outside chance here because all of the teams above them also need to do not great. But if you get a chicken dinner, you're doing better than everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, looking at S2G, 89 points, there's still a perfect chance for them, especially when they do perform a lot better over on Miramar anyway. I wonder if they'll bring Kelsey back in for this one. Ketch, though, this is our MVP ranking, currently in first place, and rightly so. This guy's been doing a huge amount for the team and almost single-handedly saved them from S2G in that last match. But it was not meant to be because the rest of the team was little bit lackluster. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think Aaron's got lost on his way to the MVP rankings as well because he was all the way up there. We were talking about this guy in terms of being tournament MVP material, right? But today has just not been his day, along with the rest of Wolf. And maybe that's an important part of why they haven't been performing Aaron has not really been as impactful. He's still had a couple of moments, but not nearly to the degree that we've seen from him before. 2 entrants from Regnum Kaya and Marso up there for Kara.
Yeah, I mean, Marso definitely performed incredibly well for Kara. Zed Wolf, I'm glad to see him get a turn in over towards 5th place here. Loxy surprisingly doing incredibly well right now for Regnum Kaya.
Yeah, he is. He is their most valuable player right now in terms of actual impact on the score lines, on the stats. Obviously, different players have different impacts, and I think obviously we talk a lot about Silas and his impact on the team, his level head, his strategy, his calls, seemingly outclassing, I would say, everybody else in this lobby right now. It's not even close, I think, at this point. Yeah, Silas is definitely flexing those muscles, getting ready for the Worlds.
Yeah, absolutely. The guy is insane. Overall, I think as a leader, it's hard to have anyone better who's able to also make those calls and also make those judgments where he's happy to be the first to face. I think you find a lot of IGLs who are just afraid to be that guy, to be the first to push, to be the first to find that initial knock, to play face-to-face with the enemy. It's really difficult, but he's been playing exceptionally well. But we'll be getting in towards our penultimate match soon. Toasty lobby. So I don't know how long that's going to be, but it may be a short while.
It could be. It could be. We've gone through all our stats, but I'm looking at, we've got 16 players in the lobby right now. So it's looking pretty empty. So, I mean, if you want to win a game, get into a low count player lobby. See what you can do. Maybe it's a better time. But we're up to 17 now.
But it's just like Kara, Regnum, and Ulf all going against one another.
That's kind of all that matters now. Just shut the rest of it down. Let's just put them in the warehouse. Give them a TDM. See what they could do. Why not?
Could be the case. But yeah, 5th match of the day. Crazy. We're already here. Felt like just moments ago we started match number 1. But you've been here with us through it all. If you're one of the people who've been watching every single day, I salute you. Well done. Well done.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, all the way through the league stages, all the way through the knockouts. These teams will be telling their story. You guys have been listening, watching, thinking about that story yourself, sometimes contributing as well in the chat. We do see you. We're on a delay, so we can't talk back to you, unfortunately. But yeah, it's been great to watch how these teams have developed. And I was slightly worried for Regnum Kaya. Actually, watching them back in the league, casting them back in the league stages, seeing them in the knockout stages, they did well, but it wasn't spectacular. But it's finals time for Regnum Kaya, and they got serious. They definitely have found it. And I think that another team that I was worried about is the Falcons. And they kind of have lived up to that worry a little bit. They're still doing well, and they're still going to be going to PMGC, to the league stages. But yeah, that's not ideal.
I think for the Falcons, it's not the worst thing in the world, though. I genuinely think it's, whenever I look at the Falcons, I'm always like, oh, they're not doing great. And you look at their performance, you're like, oh, it's not crazy. It's not really a Zed Wolf, is it? But they consistently are in like the top 6, and you can't take that away from them. And I think that's the thing that always gets me as well. As I'm like, this team is still just performing at a really high level consistently from tournament to tournament. And there has been teams in the past where, sorry, big stretch. There's been teams in the past where, although they've had that one really great tournament, I think Falcons is one of the few teams where through thick and thin, they've stood together and they've still done fairly decently. And I think that is hard to do. I think if the Falcons players ever watch this, which I highly doubt they will, I think they should be very proud of themselves for that fact.
Hey man, I've seen Pekko in the chat once or twice, They're getting their coach to get the lowdown, see if we're talking smack about them or not, if they need to up their game. Of course, all the best analysis comes from us. That's why Pekko watches.
Well, I think that's the thing though, is that like they get such a bad rap. But I think that's because people do expect a lot from them as a team.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't personally think that they're a team that qualifies as being first every single tournament. But I think that they are a regular team that does very well, and that is hard to do. That is not easy. I don't think people realize how hard it is to be consistent over multiple tournaments in a game like PUBG, which is predicated by its randomness.
Yeah, as you say, there is that random element to it. Where does the circle go? Which is why we play, 18 match sets, is to make sure everyone has a fair crack, and it's not just, oh, you didn't win that game. That's kind of it. As we take a look at some more of our stats, we've got the Reses, the unsung heroes of their teams, and it looks like Asgard have been picking themselves up the most. Arguably, it's better to have a lower stat across your team on this, as long as you're doing well. If you're doing well and have a low res rate, that means you're generally not going down. But either way, Asgard at the top of that one with 11. CEO with 9, matching Magnazada and Mars. Wait, hang on a minute. There's 2 Marses. What's going on?
It's gone now.
It's fine. I was just saying.
Don't even think about it. Yeah. You got a headache.
Something like that. We'll get it done. Kara, very happy about their performance, and their fans are as well in that last game. Not quite enough to get all the way up there, and in this game it's likely that they will smash that boundary, but they'll then need to go into game 6 to be able to do that. They might not be afforded that opportunity.
They may not be. S2G, the fans are still here in force, which is great to see. I mean, if you are an S2G player, you'd be very pleased to see that. I am curious to see where Kelsey is. I mean, you can see the sign is for Kelsey. I cannot translate live though, sadly. Yeah. We're missing around about 7 players from our lobby at the moment. Just waiting for them to jump on in. And then we'll get started.
We are indeed. We're on 59 players. Admiration from the fans. It is pretty jubilant, I would say, on this side of the stands. Very likely that it's going over to them. They're now over 30 points ahead. Well, I think they're, exactly 30 points ahead of 4th place. And in 2 matches to find that gap, I don't know. I don't know if there's a team that could do it. Especially against Kara. All they need to do is put 5 points a map in, and it's basically impossible for anyone to leapfrog them here. And I say all they need to do. 5 points a game is still, not the simplest of tasks, but you can do it 10 in 1. Sure, I'll give you that.
Yeah, it's still tough. It's still very, very tough. Kara, though, getting very loud. They know that they are close to making it through to the PMGC. Be cool to see Turkish fans out there in Thailand.
Showing off his stat line. What was that? Was that 1v1? I'm not sure. Couldn't quite see the screen there. Yeah, fair enough. If he's showing off. I hope he won it and he wasn't just showing off that he played someone.
I played a game, guys. Check this out. I think with BRA, a little bit of a smaller crowd. Still giving it large, though. S2G fans still very happy, and I think they should be. It has been a little bit lackluster about this tournament, yet they're still here and still pushing. There's Kelsey in the crowd. Oh no!
Right, that's a little bit of information there. Playing with injury.
Right.
Maybe it was pain the other day that he was coping with. That's the substitution. Goodness me. And that's got to feel really kind of rubbish, right? It's got to feel really bad when you are in that scenario and you know that your team wants and needs you. But no, you are incapacitated. And if you want a chance at globals... Whoa, what's happened there? Give that child back.
He's going to do his crazy Kara dance.
Oh.
lobbing that child around.
Yeah, apparently.
Fantastic. Really a behemoth of a man.
Yeah.
Now what you need to do is you just need to lob that child back into the crowd.
Yeah, from where he is, just like,
Yeah.
you know, like with a t-shirt cannon.
Maybe not with a t-shirt cannon. That seems
too far.
insane.
That's too far.
You'd have to crush him into it first. And
Yeah,
I don't
that's
really
a
want
bad
to
time.
envision that.
No, it's a bad time. Let him enjoy the games.
It
or
would have
maybe,
been nice
or maybe
to
game
know
singular.
that Kelsey's broken his arm.
Yeah. I mean, it could be strain. It could be, it isn't necessarily a break, but yeah, injury certainly to the wrist region.
Yeah, I mean, he's did a cast.
Yeah, that's true.
That's fracture / break.
You reckon?
Yeah, because you don't keep something still for a sprain.
Is that true? Okay,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know. I believe it.
So look, you use a cast or a sprain. I don't think you do.
I mean, you think as casters we would know what you use a cast for, but no.
Yeah. Very severe sprains.
Okay. Well, that's,
But this is what I thought is typically use a splint or a brace.
Ah, okay. I mean, maybe
I
it is
think-
a cast wrapped around a splint or something. We're
How
getting too
dare
deep
you.
into the woods here.
I think he's broken his arm.
He's got one arm left. He has only got one.
Which is
deleted
also
it.
not a... The thing is, that's also not a quick fix.
No.
It's like a 6-week process.
Yeah. I'm thinking about globals.
Yeah, he doesn't have
see.
6 weeks.
Maybe he'll get a bit more mobility though. Depending on the severity of it. We're not going to pry into his private medical information, but it'll be interesting to see if S2G first of all turn up at PMGC with their substitute and their qualification chances here, or if he's going to be recovered by then. And that would be, I'm sure, a difficult situation to navigate. And it makes much more sense now as to the extent of his emotion at the end of yesterday. When you add into that the pain he must have been feeling, trying to play through it. The guy's a trooper.
All right, guys, I'm pressing start game. Just pressing
Yeah.
it. It's happening.
Press it harder.
Start game. It's happening. There it is. I need to get like a start game button.
Definitely. That's something that we should commission, for sure. The issue that I'm seeing it... Oh, no, okay. Don't worry about it. I was just saying that there was only 63 players in this, but no, the 64th has connected. Because our fans...
I don't see that. I see it now.
Yeah. I'm slightly ahead. I get the primo feed. You get the 3 seconds delayed one.
Yeah.
It's in my contract. I was like, if Blank gets the same map feed as I do, I'm saying that S2G really bad on broadcast.
Thanks, John. It's pretty mean of you.
Yeah, well,
Let's go to Miramar. 5th match of the day.
all right. Fantastic. A chance for our teams to find a Smash victory. 2 of them, in fact, to be able to find that chance. It will be Regnum, Kaya, and Ulf, both with the opportunity to make their mark here. In game number 5, we saw a match 5 chicken dinner Smash victory in the spring season with the Falcons taking that one home. Will we see it again here as we venture over the desert once more?
From Madriera up towards Tierra Bronca. Over San Martin. We are heading over towards Miramar now. Picardo will be taken up by Regnum Kai, which gives them a really big boost in these games, just because it's such a central spot anyway. Asgard dropped down toward Via de Mar. And we're going to get Falcons over towards El Porto. So a lot of our prominent teams already in pretty strong positions. S2G is a team that we're looking out for, but obviously missing out on Kelsey is a pretty big deal. Guy has been pretty big deal in Turkey for a while. Sorry.
Yeah.
For the yawn there. Apologies.
He definitely has been a big deal, I think it's safe to say. And
I had to finish it as well. I'm glad you let me finish it.
you know what the crazy thing is that they're kind of doing pretty well today without him, you know? Like,
Yeah, don't say that. That's me.
pretty good. South Circle.
Even I've not said that. I'm the harsh one. Okay.
Well, yeah, but like, you know, they have kind of been doing pretty good actually. So, you know, maybe they can go the full distance. They are 89 points now, of course. A big south shift on the circle, though, leaves us wondering where will we go. Not going to be all the way into the Pmsl Hills on the southwest side, but still possible. And Los Leones, of course, a big feature here.
Been going far down towards the south again. Teams have played this one out multiple times now. Los Leones was Partona in play. I really want to see a Partona finish. Yet to see it. I think you had the pleasure of watching one during EWC. I think
it was close by. I'm not sure if it ended up on part. Ooh, I can't remember. I think it was definitely.
I remember.
Do you? Are you certain?
No.
Neither.
Vague knowledge.
We have seen Partona circles before, right? It's a really tricky bit of land to play. That ridge line that sits on that east point of the island. The settlement behind it as well, posing a threat for teams rotating around in the water. Uncommon on Miramar, but possible in Partona. Does make it pretty nasty. And the compounds are very disconnected from one another. A lot of open ground.
A lot of teams dropped over towards the north side of the map as well because of that plane path. There is a few teams already making their way down towards a more central position, but it's hard to make that decision early, especially because Los Leones is such a big feature here. You don't want to get stuck into the thick of it too early. I mean, BR8's happy to do it. It's their drop spot, but they're not likely to stay in Los Leones as the game progresses.
I mean, if you're going to commit to Los Leones at any, on any circle one, I feel like this is probably one of them, right? Because it does take up so much of the landmass inside the circle, and a lot of the circle is water. So you're looking at, maybe 30% of this circle is Los Leones in terms of the available end game space. And taking a 30% gamble when maybe you're fleeing other more dire odds is worth it, right? And Ulf are going to be approaching from the north, Kaya, a little bit further to the west of it.
Yeah, already central is Regnum Kaya, which is, like I said, what Picardo really affords them as a drop spot. Really damn good. Frozen with the explosive bow. Yeah, we're going to start seeing some more shenanigans, I would say, again. It was very strange to see us go down to, I think, like 40 players, stage 4 into 5 last game. There's an incredibly quick cleanup of teams and players who've realized that the mark has been missed.
Yeah, it's maybe a little bit freeing, perhaps. I mean, especially for teams towards the bottom. The Noise Boys and IWNRX. Now that's a half. A little scrap at the bottom of the tables on the top of the map. Lines up for one. A good little opener there. And finds the flush. A nice point earned. In the meantime, Regnum Kaya actually got first blood. He snuck it away. Just in time. Zed Wolf. Earning the point. Staying on top. But it's all about that chicken dinner. Right towards the top of the tables. Unless neither of them get it. With the opportunity.
Kenzo really stared at him for a while there before taking that shot. Molotov disappears. Kenzo will happily disappear another player. Might have been RX with the pump.
It's the full reload as well. Can't get sprayed down. IWNRX losing the Noise Boys here. And Frozen cannot hit a spray to save his life. Literally.
Yeah, so we just gave the guy with the pump shotgun, which, bear in mind, has a clock time on it, 4 1v1s. Like, if you just pushed as a 3-man, there is literally a space of 3 seconds, or 2 seconds, let's say, where he quite literally cannot shoot the gun.
All of which is to say, IWNRX living up to their reputation here in the finals.
Absolutely one of the stinkiest plays I've seen in a while.
I mean, it's a we've given up kind of play at this stage. Great for the Noisy Boys, though. They get 4 whole points. Blank, that's like 10% of their whole scoreline.
They pincered them as well, which is the weirdest thing to me. It's like you pincered them. What is the whole point of a pincer? So you have 2 angles at the same time. It's not to have one angle and then another angle. To have 2 angles. Just make that clear. 2 angles. Very frustrating. It's just it should not be seeing those kind of plays in Pmsl EU. And for IWinnerX, losing Zedwolf has had to be one of the most clarifying things about the rest of the team we've ever seen.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see how it's changed up, right? Of course, they got the loaner from, as in on loan, not on his own, Swain from S2G to bring into the mix, but that's just not enough to fill the void that Zedwolf has obviously left in the roster. Quite a few teams actually on the west side of Los Leones as we take a look at the rotations on the map. And 2 of them, actually the 2 teams on the southwest point of Los Leones blank, are Regnum Kaya and Ulf, both of whom in that smash zone right now, above that 134 point barrier.
Oh, waiting for zone 2, which is going to be the big shift here. Regnum Kaya on the south side of Los Leones alongside with Ulf. Dangerously close to one another. Regnum Kaya have already picked up 1 point. That's from BRA as they got towards Los Leones early.
The Noisy Boys, after having won their fight, are still in El Azahar, by the way. And the circle is fully on the south side. So that's... they love just sticking around where they're like, okay, we did our first bit. We don't have to do anything more, right, in this game. They did it on Erangel. They're doing it here. Besiktas also late into this, but they are actually moving now. Which is good.
My God.
My God. What a shift down to the south coast, Blank. Okay. This is a mad dash. Regnum Kaya and Ulf, what are they gonna do? And Kara in a great spot.
I mean, both Ulf and Regnum Kaya are pretty close to the zone. So I was going to send it in. I think Kara has already taken a knock there. And yes, they have to Nico from Papa Supermassive. Not good for them to start off with. Ulf takes a little bit of liquor damage, as does Regnum Kaya. To be expected as you send down towards this portion of the map. We don't play here very often. I don't lie to you.
No, I mean, Regnum Kaya now around that mines entrance position on the south coast. A lot of open fields on the southwest, on the low ground there, but hills to keep you safe, potentially some buildings as well, littered through it all. This is really, really dangerous stuff, and half of the circle is unplayable. It's out in the water. This is going to be deadly, I think, for several of our teams. Maybe not this phase, but definitely on the next one. And not all of our teams have even made it here. Still got quite a few out on the west coast, on the west side.
Yeah, I actually think that playing on the north side of the circle here is probably one of the best decisions you can make, because it's likely going to shift away from the water and shift up towards that north side. So I think Regnum Kara is in a good position to make this happen. Kara takes another knock, but that's from Ulf. Solke goes down to Regnum Kaya as they clean more and more space out of this lobby.
Oh dear, that's bad news for S2G.
Spot.
That's really bad news for S2G. They've lost a player in the midst of it all as well. A very, very tough circle for them. And look at how many swaps are happening as well around the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, whatever, 11th position are happening. Asgard, Papa Supermassive going blow for blow right now. And Kara have lost 2 in the midst of it all. They only need 3 points this game, Blank.
I know, but it looks like it might not happen here either. Regnum Kaya already with 2, though. I mean, they're not playing in a extremely safe spot of the map, but it will give them some kind of cover. It's like a small defilade that a lot of teams play towards later circles. But I mean, when you get this kind of circle right now, you have to make the best out of a bad situation, which this absolutely is for a lot of teams, by the way.
Oh, for sure. Late to it, Ida. Nah, you're not going to get past that. That is Ida, I believe, eliminated there. Our first team to go down. Regnum Kaya racking up the points. I mean, it'd be great if anyone else was getting them, but Regnum Kaya are just like, okay, the points are great, but we want the chicken dinner. That's what we need right now. as they moved away from the mines opening. They're actually doing pretty well on this hold for now.
Yeah, ideally, Regnum Kaya would love to have, well, not anymore, wouldn't love to have Xlay's spot, where BRA is playing, as well as Kara. Kara have a really good compound, but only 2 players. If anyone knows that, they can push it, but it's very hard to tell that at distance. Ulf take 1 knock there. Yeah, this is kind of one of the situations where you go for a big crash, but you do not know whether Kara has 2. You assume that it's a 4-man squad inside that compound. Technically, any team could really roll them over.
Yeah, I like what Ulf is doing right now. They're moving down south to one of the compounds further across the way. It will be more central on this circle. They might leave 2 and 2. I feel like a 2-2 split wouldn't be a terrible idea. But the fact that Besiktas and the Noisy Boys have kind of yet to make an appearance might catch them off guard on this east side.
Yeah, it's a question of where to go. I mean, TMB took a really, really long rotate down from eastern coast past Porto Paraíso. And you're right, so did Besiktas. 2 teams that stay out of the circle for a very, very long time. S2G also losing one of their players does not bode well for their point scoring into the future. Asgard and the Falcons. And that's probably the fight that I'm looking at the moment.
It's the one that does need to conclude. Xlay kind of have oversight on it as well. You can see that they're overlooking, and just beyond them, that Regnum Kaya stronghold. Xlay trying to bolster their hills, but Regnum Kaya are safe for now, but I don't feel like this is a super winning position, right? I mean, you've got Loxy up top, but the mobility you have, not great.
No. Again, like I said, this is typically a spot that you head over towards in these kind of circles where you don't really have too many options. And to be honest, you really don't have too many options right now either. I think Regnum Kaya just had to pick a spot and work with it. And this is a spot that Silas knows of, the rest of the team knows of, they can play it. It has been fairly profitable so far, but they are going to run into a situation that they've had situations happen before, which is not having enough utility, not having enough supplies to work with.
Needing that outward pressure to keep them safe, but if no one's pushing onto you, those boxes don't come, you can't resupply. Jetgo actually moving up and away from the Falcons. Instead, they've decided to move in to the northwest side, and I mean, it's probably the safer approach. Maybe we should have expected that from Jetgo. Falcons yet to make their move, though, and they are the team that really does have to make the move. With the Blue Zone putting pressure on them, which way are they going to go? I think north, following Jetgo's footsteps, and the circle goes out east.
Which favours Ulf. Will force a lot of teams to push across. There's only one other team really on the east that poses a threat to him, that is TMB. And, well, do TMB really pose a threat at all? That's the other question that needs to be asked here. But for Ulf, very, very good spot for them. Same for Papra Supermassive over on that north side. Another strong position to be playing in.
It's losing players, though. They're taking 1 and a flush on their side there. They try and move in behind Jetgo. They're now playing as 3. Ralph has gone down. I did see a Winchester in the elimination feed. I'm very happy about that. But now Regnum Kaya have spotted the Falcons as well. And Narvalo takes a heavy toll. Will be dragging down. I think he tried to get in separate from the rest of these team. He split off from them. And that's going to be an easy pickup there for the lot. Jetgo moving in, maybe. We're going to try and third party this. Maybe Braha as well. Look at them moving out, stretching their legs.
Getting a move on. It'll be done. Regnum Kaya, I think they took a knock. Or did it back?